Every week, Tyler gave the rules that he and I decided.
Gentlemen, welcome to
Movie Club.
the first rule.
Movie Club.
You do not talk about.
Movie Club.
Second rule
Movie Club.
is you do not talk about.
Movie Club.
Wow, what an incredible intro. I can't even beat that. Kudos to our top of the line media department for putting that together. And boy, howdy, it's not easy to make a video, folks. Let's just ask the girl herself, the star of the evening, Miss Casey Brennan. Casey. Your mic's muted, Casey. I can't hear what you're saying.
It looks so much worse on camera. It looked normal in the office.
Oh, Casey.
I'm so excited for movie.
You look dashing.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very wonderful. And
Ralph
where
looks disappointed, confused.
well, kudos to you for that phenomenal intro video.
Thank you.
And kudos to you for, I'm assuming that's makeup?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you actually went out and
Fruit punch Mios, which is very, very concentrated, not fun. But you know, you got to do it for the bit.
give yourself B vitamins and electrolytes, as well as realistic blood. Here to talk about realistic blood is a man who's always real, Mr. Real Ralph Tedesco.
Hello. Looks like me on Bourbon Street,
Yeah.
New Orleans.
Oh no!
When I got jumped. We'll talk. This is a different.
This is a different stream.
Story for another stream.
Different story. Looking good, Case. I hope this was not. Don't try to fill out some workers' comp. We know it didn't happen in the office. Whatever this is. Hi. Hello.
Love.
Oh my God.
In true Fight Club fashion, she did it to herself.
It's true, I did.
Or if you watched Coffee with Casey and Noah on Monday, you'll learn that Casey has an ongoing battle with a monkey. But again, another story for another stream. A girl who has plenty of stories of her own, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Krystle Starr.
Hello.
Hello, Krystle. Love.
Hello. How are y'all today? Casey, I love the makeup so much.
Thank you. I was gonna like try and do the like smile thing, and then you guys saw it, but I couldn't stop laughing. Sorry, I ruined it.
Oh, it's so good.
How Casey was fair in Fight Club.
Casey was.
I feel like she would do well.
We've had these discussions today. I think we've all determined that Casey is a scrapper, and our money's on her 9 times out of 10.
It's fair.
Another person who is 10 out of 10. Please welcome Marilyn Ghigliotti.
You.
Love.
Casey, I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Love.
I hope people saw that episode where we do love. This is from Barbarella, if you don't know.
And if you missed it, go to www.zenescope.com and watch it for yourself.
Yes, that was a really good one. I highly recommend that one. It's a great movie. Great film.
And as well as a great film, we've got a great person as our last and final guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian O'Halloran.
Yeah!
Wait a second.
Is that Brian? Wait a second. Is Ed
Hell yeah,
Norton?
Brian.
That's
Ed
Brian.
Norton
Good
filling in for
day,
Brian?
sir. Ow, ow.
Ed Norton filled in for Brian today. Oh, it is Brian.
It's like a mirror. It's like a mirror.
It was so close.
Love.
You think most people would have went with obviously most people would have went with Brad Pitt, and I was like, that guy gets enough.
It's too much.
Because otherwise I'd had to have done something like this, and then they'd be like, "Whoa, look out!"
Look at this guy, a young Pitt.
By the way, Casey looks like what you meant to say, Ralph, was Casey looks like any fan of a team other than a Philadelphia-based team when they visit a Philadelphia-based sporty.
It's
Oh my
so
gosh.
cliche, O'Halloran. It's very cliche. Very,
No,
I
I
know
think there are
LA
police
has
reports
some.
that back that up.
What's that?
I think there are police reports that back that up.
Well, we did it, and back in the day, they had the jail and the vet. So you aren't incorrect.
Right.
You aren't.
By the way, Brian, I got that background from Brad Pitt. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this I did years and years and years ago.
Love that.
Long time ago.
Let's start because this movie. There's a lot to unpack in this movie.
Chuck
And
Palahniuk, baby.
so long.
Do
All right.
Boom! Fight Club.
Is there anybody who hasn't seen this?
I thought I might have seen it, but after watching it, I don't believe I saw
You
it.
never
before.
saw it. Okay, this is.
You never seen it? Wow.
Wow.
This is
I
the
think-
first movie I've ever seen, like already before going into movie club.
That's insane. You've seen this before.
It
Okay.
was stuff that just didn't really interest me, so that's why I never really kind of saw it.
So
Watched it.
Marilyn,
Okay.
in terms of like the plot or I guess the twists, the big reveals, how much were you privy to prior to your viewing?
Not a
Sir
thing. Not a thing, because it's like it. I was thinking one thing, and then I was thinking something else. Then I was like, oh no, totally wrong.
Interesting.
So wait, you were shocked or you were not shocked?
I was taken by surprise. I don't think I was shocked.
Got
Okay.
you. Have you seen Mr. Robot?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
It's a TV show that came out like a few years ago.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that either.
Okay, I was just curious because they stole this plot.
Oh, that's right. Well, I only saw season 1 of that, but yes,
Yeah, well, it was only season 1 that they stole this plot from.
okay.
Like,
Okay, I didn't know
yeah.
if it kept going. Yeah, I remember thinking there's.
Yeah, it was only written for a 1-season arc, but it was so wildly popular that they wrote more. That's why the first
Right.
season is so perfect, because they literally rip off this movie and another film, and they kind of like mash them together. And at the very end, like spoilers, if you haven't seen Fight Club, we're gonna be talking about it. But at the end of Fight Club, they play like the Pixies, "Where Is My Mind?" And the big reveal in Mr. Robot was he was Mr. Robot, and they have like the carnival ride playing "Where Is My Mind" like on a slowed down loop. So it's like a big yeah,
It was like an homage to Fight Club.
yeah. They stole
Or
they basically stole
stolen
this
it.
film. Yeah.
One or the other. Okay.
It's a fine line.
Well, we're not here to talk Mr. Robot yet. Maybe next season, but
No.
we will talk some Fight Club. We will
Yes.
talk Fight. How long has it been for everybody else since you've seen it, and how many times?
Probably a decade. If I'm being like really honest with myself, I probably haven't seen Fight Club in a decade.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you there. It's been
Yeah, I used to watch it all the time growing up. I used to roll with a lot of like skateboarder guys, and they had their own mini Fight Club. It was really wildly popular in my schools. I think a lot of schools when this came out, a lot of boys started their own little fight
I think-
clubs. And
It's kind of funny how everybody missed the point of the movie, which
yeah,
was the ridiculousness of having a Fight Club. But that's another.
yeah. No, I think a lot of people missed the point of this movie when it first came out. Like a lot. And I think a lot of people were very confused by the
Yeah.
film.
Well, people are pissed off. People are really mad about it.
Okay, so Marilyn, you're fresh. Are you confused with the film?
I mean, yeah, to some degree, I am. Like, what's the point of it and all this kind of stuff? But to some degree, I kind of get it as well. But it's a little out there. It's a
I
little
do think it takes a couple watches to get.
I think it really does, to be quite honest.
In my opinion, but I want to hear what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, Brian, did you get the film immediately, or did it take a few watches for it to kind of like fully soak in?
I'm not gonna brag. No, but I kind of figured it out when the Helena Bonham Carter character was like confused when he kept telling her to leave or all this other stuff. So that's when it started to get a little odd. And then and I saw this probably like 2 years after it came out in '99. I probably saw it in like 2001 or whatever, when it was playing on either cable or whatnot. But it was the kind of the time around of M. Night Shyamalan's movies and stuff like that, where it was like twist endings, the guy's really dead kind of a thing. Or it was the butler. Yeah, exactly. Oh well, there goes one off the list. Nope, can't do that one now. So in that regard, I kind of caught on to what was at play here. The ending, though, like the ending part of it, spoilers, where he almost wants to take his life, kind of seals it for everybody. We're like, oh, okay, he's been inside his head the entire time. But I enjoyed this film. I think a couple of watchings you do catch more. I did catch some other things in addition to what I already knew from other viewings of it. But it's good. I'm a Fincher fan. And I liked everything he's done. And this was the height of David Fincher's, it's this and Seven and a whole bunch of other great ones. Panic Room. Right. So this was like the quintessential Fincher kind of feel.
And this movie changed cinematography forever. So Fincher actually played a huge part. If you notice in Fight Club, there's never a scene and there's never a camera angle that's more than I think 7 seconds long. Like there could be you could be in the room for longer than 7 seconds, but Fincher's big thing is this 3-7 rule. So everything's cut within 3 to 7 seconds. And at the time, he was actually doing a lot of music videos before doing Fight Club, and he did a lot of Madonna stuff and others that are not coming to my head right now. But I mean, he was wildly successful, and so this movie was really shot kind of as like a really cool music video, and I think that's why this film stands out so much. Like the shots are just really, really quick, and they're really awesome. And he did something before anyone really realized that your brain, the normal human brain, only can stay focused for 3 to 7 seconds, and by doing that, you really watch the film and not get super bored.
What? I'm sorry. I zoned out. What were you talking about?
He knew in 1999 that people would be on their phones while watching movies. So he was like, no. Yeah.
Crazy, right?
I'm going to get ahead of that shit.
I don't know if he did that subconsciously or what, but that was just kind of his style. And I think
it makes sense. Especially for this movie, it works. I think it's a chaotic movie.
Funny enough, I mean, it's because I was watching it this morning. It's because sometimes it's if I watch two days beforehand, sometimes I can't remember certain things. But I'm watching it today, and I woke up super exhausted, and I had to kind of stop, rewind a few times because I was nodding off. And it's not because wholly on the movie; it's just I'm exhausted. It's a whole thyroid thing.
You have to stop going to your Hollywood Fight Club, honey.
Yeah, you should probably.
You're doing way too much research for the movies.
Slow down. We've heard that you've been in Fight Club almost every night this week.
Oh yeah,
you gotta stop. Yeah, look at Casey. Right. Look what you did to Casey.
It'd be funny to do a sketch of Fight Club, but make it Pillow Fight Club.
Pillow Fight Club. I want you to hit me with a pillow as hard as you can.
Yeah, right. What?
I mean, I've read a lot about this movie in the past, and the ideas of consumerism is a big theme, and that's something that comes up throughout. The character castration is a big theme in the movie, feeling castrated. Him. It is what's his name? Meatloaf. Who played? What's his name?
Bob.
Bob with the boobs.
Robert Paulson.
Robert Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson.
Oh, okay.
In death, we have a name. Yeah, and his feelings of almost castration, not feeling emasculated in some ways, and that's why he has this alter ego in Tyler Durden, who takes over.
I feel like that's a theme through Chuck Palahniuk's everything Chuck Palahniuk does.
Well, I mean, in the first 5 minutes of the film, he literally gives you the intro to commerceism and the whole you're just a product and everything is going to be owned. It's going to be Facebook space and Starbucks mall and blah blah blah. I mean, it was obvious from the very beginning that he was definitely anti globalism, anti-corporate, corporate ownership of things.
Yeah.
But it also talks obviously about just separation from your own mind and a kind of almost bipolar kind of reaction to going through life and just being in that corporate world of insurance, no less. Is that kind of droning on kind of what are we doing instead of taking time and living?
What are we're just going through the motions and
not just that. I think that like especially those corporations that like his character is literally like watching people die and saying like and telling the lady on the plane like, if the death toll is under like, the recall, then we don't recall it, the price. And she's like, who do you work for? And he's like what company do you work for? Like a big one. I think there's a lot of people out there who do work for big corporations and have to do horrible things towards humanity to keep their job. And like that weighs on you a lot. And I think it pushes people to break. And this Edward Norton had insomnia, which we later find out was really schizophrenia. But I think that's a huge thing. And watching this movie now, I had never had insomnia until recently, and I had my first night terrors last week actually. So this movie was like feeling pretty crazy. And I loved how like even in the very beginning of the movie when he first sees Marla Singer, like she blips, and she blips a few times like in and out. And I feel like that is like very much what the night terrors do. And so I thought that was like I don't know if the writer really had insomnia and knew exactly what this was or really looked into it, but that's something that I didn't really catch as a kid watching this film. But this film was packed with all kinds of little hidden stuff about
little Easter eggs. Yeah, it was. That's what was fun when rewatching it, like just knowing that the twist that he's, and seeing like what Brian said, like stuff I probably didn't pick up on the first watch or the first couple. Probably saw this twice before. I don't think I've seen it multiple times, but like rewatching it now, it was like holy shit! Like these were so obvious, but they weren't. They were, but they weren't.
I think someone who's a big movie buff, would probably catch a lot of the supposed Easter eggs that are in there, because as I was doing like the homework, reading all the details in the IMDb Pro, I was catching all this stuff, and then I was like, there was way too much. I'm like, I can't read anymore.
So Marilyn, I'm going to keep coming back to you because I'm interested to like see this from a first-time viewer's perspective. Were you able to pick up on so in the movie, they obviously, talk about splicing film and how Brad Pitt's character puts, pornographic frames into children's movies. And so there are parts of this movie that have, Brad Pitt, spliced in. Did you see him blip or pop up in certain scenes?
Not until the very end or the reveal, if you will. Because at first I'm just thinking, it's like, oh, this guy seeked him out, it's like is creating this cult. And yes, to some degree, that is still true. And then I'm thinking, split personality. And yes, it's true, but it's like, Krystle, you mentioned schizophrenia, which, to some degree is split personality. So I until I realized what it was, I didn't see the blips.
Gotcha. Because I was kind of seeing I don't know if it was just like the frame rate of my television, or if this was because I've seen the movie like a dozen times. But I just felt like this time, and I saw somebody in the comments say it too, that those little quick appearances of Tyler, I feel like they really stood out to me this time. So
probably because you see.
Agreed.
I don't think I didn't notice it the first couple times, like as nearly as much. This is my favorite time of watching it. I feel like I will say more than I did the first couple times.
Yeah, it's like fine wine.
Well, it's like when I watched it. It's kind of like what my hesitations with Drive. Like I watched it in high school. It was one of my favorite movies, and I was worried I wasn't going to like it, upon a newer watching. I was
good.
Well, what was good about this though is because we knew that we were going to be analyzing the movie and rating it, we're watching it not in a casual, oh, it's on TV kind of way. It's like,
Right.
oh, we're going to be asked what's our favorite parts, oh, what was our favorite line, what was it you didn't like. So we obviously watched it with a more conscious knowing what we're going to watch. So in doing so, I did see all the blipping, the foreshadowing, the kind of flashes, and quite a few penises for that matter. So that kind of thing, you just became hyper aware this time watching it. Yes, I said penis for the chat, if you're wondering.
Penis. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it was you're watching it with more of a critical eye than normal,
Right.
and that definitely makes you pick up on things that maybe we're used to not watching movies probably with this that are deep like this. Like when we watch like I don't know, name most of our movies, but
Yeah, I feel like this is probably like the deepest movie we've ever seen.
what?
I think this is probably the deepest movie we've ever
In
watched.
some way, besides Barbarella, of course.
hello, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
And I'm sorry, Silent Night, and Creepshow.
Well, then I think the term then is it's more socially conscious film we've ever
It is a
watched.
socially conscious film. I do think it's
Very
funny.
on society.
There's a lot to unpack from everything from like insomnia, split personality, society,
There is.
our role in society,
Violence leads to
commercialism,
violence, group mentality.
processing, emotional trauma,
And it
constructive
really
outlets.
caused a lot
You're
of
responsible for your own happiness.
Learning how to make napalm.
Yep, absolutely.
That one was
what
big.
lie does to your hand. How it
Lie. Well, I've always heard that when you lie, you burn in hell. So, it's
That's true. That is true. I feel like this caused a big ruckus when it came out. A lot of people who didn't really get the idea of Fight Club being a ridiculous means to an end, right? Like the idea is like this is so out of touch, and then he comes to realize that like all these groups just protesting the movie, going nuts because they thought it glorified violence when that's in fact what it was trying to parody and make fun of.
Yeah, this movie's actually banned in like a lot of other, like China doesn't have fight. They have like an alternate ending to Fight Club.
They do have an alternate ending. I don't know how they did the alternate ending. I'd like to see.
I don't know either.
Because I remember Fincher was like, it doesn't even make any sense what they did, like at all.
Edward
They did
Norton,
not take out all the banks.
Edward Norton shoots himself in the head and then looks at the camera and goes, "Boof, boy, I'll feel that one in the morning." And then Marilyn comes in and they go, "Hey, hey," and then they do a dance sequence and then they fly off in a car.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Who knew that you worked for the Chinese Film Commission?
It's listen,
Good job,
there's a lot
Noah.
you don't know about.
Was this did you write this ending?
It was more of a boardroom decision,
Okay.
I would say. It wasn't me. More it was a collection of, hey, there's the hunk.
Well, that's what was cut out.
I feel like he's
All of
kinda
him, all of him was cut out. So that's what they were like.
He's a little out
The
of shape.
height of Brad Pitt's career, in my opinion. This is
height
like
of
me,
his-
Joe Black.
The height of him not having body fat.
Yeah.
I don't know. He
That's
didn't have
what I'm
much body fat in what's it called? That recent one he did with the
Ever.
champion.
I
I
will
don't know
say,
what body fat is.
I will say that after watching this, the one thing that kind of crept into my mind is like, I'm surprised they didn't get Brad Pitt to play the Joker.
Oh, you thought he was that good of a crazy character?
Yeah,
Kind of
I feel like it was, and his laugh that he had is just like so.
Yeah. No, and
Yeah.
especially it was
Maybe they
very
tried.
similar to his performance, I thought, in 12 Monkeys, because he kind of has
Yeah,
that disconnect
He played the
too.
crazy guy in 12 Monkeys. Yeah.
What's the one? Snatched? Yeah, Snatched is
Oh, Snatch! And he's like,
classic.
going out there,
Classic.
Brad
coming
Pitt's
into here,
a good
we're gonna
actor. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Helena was phenomenal
Marla
in that
Singer
too.
is like such a crazy character. I love when she's talking about like, I got this dress for $1. It was someone's like favorite dress for the day, and then it was trash, like Christmas trees, and like it's really talking about capitalism so much and just the consumerism of America. And I thought it was wild that this film came out in 99. and I think it really, really, really holds up as a film. I think that more than ever right now we're seeing all the topics they're talking about in this film like really start to unravel. We started seeing that in like the late 90s, but way more so now. And I think you just have a lot of people who feel lost and they've got these 9-to-5 jobs and they don't have any meaning except to make money. And then once they have the money, they feel like they need to spend it on things. I loved the scene where he's like redecorating his apartment and it looks like a little like IKEA or like a little, like a magazine in his house. But he has no real connection to any of these furnitures or these pieces. And I think that a lot of people in America feel like they've just got to buy things to represent themselves, to feel the happiness and fill those voids. And I think that a lot of times we get lost, we don't really understand like why are we here? And I think that's a huge message of this film.
Yeah.
So
I will say I loved that like there's a scene where he's talking, I think, to like the police commissioner, the detective, whatever. And he's talking to Brad Pitt, but he's basically saying about how close he was. He's like, I was almost done. I was almost complete. Like, I just needed a few more things. And like, my apartment would have been finished. That apartment was me. But the reality of the situation is, I mean, like, you're never going to be finished. Like, you're always going to find a new product, a new piece of furniture, a new, something that defines you or whatever. So,
we're always learning about ourselves. Every day is a learning experience until the day we die.
Yeah. So, but especially with like the consumerism and all that stuff, the idea was just, buy, keep going, and buying makes you happy. Yes. I love that haiku. Brian, worker bees can leave. Even drones can fly away. The queen is their slave. Chef's kiss.
Are we okay? So let's go through. Let's talk about. This was funny as shit. By the way, I laughed a lot during this movie. I'm trying to think of specific. I
laughed a lot in this film.
The hose scene where they're like
with the priest.
Yeah.
Yes, I forgot about that, and I laughed pretty hard. I was like, "Damn, they're gonna get in a fight with a priest." That's
funny enough. I read in the comments of the IMDb Pro that there's a little camera shake because the cameraman couldn't keep it steady because he was laughing during that scene.
Oh, I bet.
That's fun. I bet. I liked so many scenes in this. I still love when he beats himself up in the office. Even though it was like disturbing, but it was so funny.
I'm like, okay, the only thing that kept going through my mind is like, you can never hit yourself that hard. Never.
I don't know. He could.
Yeah, I think if you've lost everything
I think if he really wanted to.
Yeah, the homework assignment. Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about how much he beat himself up in this movie when he.
Yeah.
Right. Remember, he convinced them to give him his check and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
No, I just found the comedy everywhere, very dark comedy everywhere.
I didn't really find myself laughing a lot. I did laugh at the priest a little bit, but I didn't I don't think I laughed a lot. I think the movie is like, I think it's sad. I think it's sad.
But it's like, when they capture him and he's like, no, I'm Tyler Durden. You can let me go. And they're like, you definitely said you were going to say that.
Yeah.
They're going to cut his balls. There's so much castration theme in this movie.
I think that's a metaphor for the fact that we are all just useless in that sense, and that we, no matter what we do, they got us by the balls. Let's put it simply.
Right.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
One of the what is it? Self-improvement is masturbation. Self-destruction
is castration.
Mm-hmm. But even like I forget what I was going to say. Never mind. There's so much to unpack.
I did laugh. I love that.
That was disturbing.
I want to destroy something beautiful. What does he say? Like, I want to punch the pandas that won't have sex for their species. And like, there's such a good quote there.
I forgot that was Jared Leto, by the way.
I completely forgot too.
This was the first time I realized it was Jared Leto.
No, I thought it was, but I didn't, because I literally was just like, minutes away from this. finishing, but I thought it was Jared Leto.
And I noticed, I forget the guy's name. He was in Mindhunter. Have you guys watched Mindhunter?
Yes.
He's in. I can't even think of his name. He played one of the guys in the Fight Club. There's just like some guys popping up. That I was like, it's always cool when you watch older movies and you see actors who have gone on to do bigger things in these small roles. That's always fun. I saw some of that.
What was the line said? Like our Great Depression is spiritual war, and our like Civil War or something, or like our Great War is our lives. Anyone?
That was in a movie?
Yeah, this movie. Yeah,
I don't remember.
There were some damn good quotes in this movie. I wish I had written.
Do you have a favorite? Does anybody have a favorite besides his name is Robert Paulson?
If only they had written these in a book of some sort where we can check. These
I will say, I think the movie in its own right is phenomenal. Again, David Fincher, great stuff. Camera direction, editing, perfect, and it does a good job of, embodying the book and the story and the themes. I do like the book better though, because like Edward Norton is narrating the whole thing. So you're getting all of these cool, like little thoughts and tidbits and just like conversations with himself in the book that aren't really translated to screen. So for like the more like brain tickling, like, oh, wow, that is a really cool thought. Like, I definitely like the book.
I never read the book.
I never finished it. I started a long time ago. I still have it over on the shelf with Choke, and I finished Choke and a few others. Chuck Palahniuk is really he's very like graphic and kind of dirty, but good.
But oh, sorry, go ahead, Ralph.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say what I appreciate about his writing is that, like, I mean, at least in Fight Club, is it kind of like has that disconnect, like the same disconnect that like Edward Norton has. So like he'll be talking about one thing and then all of a sudden switch to another. It'll be like, I am Jack's immeasurable depression, or, like bringing back up those like different, like I am John's, tickled ego, all that crap. But highly recommend it. But it's quick too, like it goes fast.
Oh, that poor girl.
I was gonna say, so they did do a Fight Club graphic novel. Looks like David Mack did the cover on it. Oh, okay. Yeah, so they made Fight Club 2 as a graphic novel.
One of my favorite quotes, not my favorite, but sticking feathers up your ass doesn't make you a chicken. Or sticking feathers up your ass doesn't make you a chicken. I did laugh at that part too. I was like, that's...
See, you're laughing, you don't even know it.
I did. It was just such a weird... It was a weird quote. Yeah.
I wish I wrote down more specific times where I laughed, because I felt like I was like...
Same.
Yeah.
Actually, I take it back. I just looked up some quotes, and my favorite quote is, "The things you own end up owning you." And I think that's like a perfect encapsulation of this film for sure. The things you own end up owning you.
Yeah, and then you have that whole monologue.
Tyler had some good nuggets. It's just that the way of him going about things was so fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, like when he was driving the car and he's like, "What do you want? What do you want? Let go of the wheel."
Oh yeah, craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Any other favorite quotes? Or favorite scenes. Sorry,
I was just gonna say, I completely forgot that you have to crack a few eggs to make an omelet was from Fight Club.
Nice.
Oh, I had a camp counselor use that one.
I feel like that's been around.
Is it?
I was about to say that's been around.
Like, yeah, he probably that was just a saying. It's been a saying.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
Don't count your chickens.
Your camp counselor didn't steal Fight Club, I don't think.
I definitely like growing up. One of my favorite scenes was the airplane scene where like they switch out the pamphlets, like the exit aisle stuff. That used to really, really terrify me as a kid. And I remember like I used to steal them off the airplanes after this movie and like collect them. I don't know why. but this movie definitely had me borrow some of those pamphlets in the plane.
I just submitted an anonymous tip to Delta.
I do like. Go ahead. Sorry, Brian.
I was just saying, I've seen those actual pamphlets on sale at Comic-Cons and stuff, where they have all the types of props and stuff that they would for a film. I've seen
like
those.
Fight Club?
Yeah. The actual, emergency exit from Fight Club thing. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the scene where he kidnaps the clerk and he's like gonna shoot him unless he goes back to be a veterinarian.
Yeah.
It's like tomorrow will be the best day of his life.
The best breakfast he's ever
And it's partly there's truth and there's like something poignant in what he does there, but there's also it's just fucked up.
You're not on your way to being a veterinarian in 6 weeks. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, it's a great idea, but it's just not the way you do that. Like
honestly, as a representative for 30 years of that industry, I don't find it fucking funny at all. Convenience store clerk like that. If you want to move on with your life, you don't need to shove a gun in their face or behind their head.
Yes, you're right.
You can just, get
that
off
would have
the
been great if you played that role, Brian.
No. I would definitely be one of the Flight Club members, but I definitely wouldn't have been playing the clerk.
One thing I saw. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say that my favorite scene was actually when the owner of the tavern or the bar, or whatever, it's like Lou comes down and then that whole scene between him and Tyler.
That poor guy wasn't even supposed to be there.
Sorry, Marilyn. Say that one more time.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
When Lou comes down and he's trying to find out what's going on, and then the whole fight ensues with Lou and Tyler, and so just that whole interaction right there.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Lou, let me stay, Lou. And then he just bleeds all over him.
And thanks, Lou.
Thanks,
you too,
Lou.
big guy.
Appreciate it. No sense. Like the guy's just like, don't bleed on me anymore. I'll let you stay here.
But I think the ironic thing is about that as well is because you're seeing Tyler fighting Lou, Ed Norton watching, and then once you realize that this is the same person, and it's just in his mind, he's kind of having an out of body experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's almost like a Jesus self-sacrifice moment for like all of his followers. Like they're watching this guy basically give himself up and submit to Lou for, the continuation of their club, for their little space. So they're like, this dude's going to get the crap beat out of him and just bleed all over the place for us. Like, I think that kind of solidifies that like cult leader status. And then after that scene, you have the bit with Edward Norton basically beating the crap out of himself in the office. So it's like, all right, well, if it works here, it works there. So whether he like recognizes it or not, it's like, I could do the same thing.
Yeah.
And you couldn't make this movie today because of the cloud. The whole point of the movie is like destroying the banks and destroying people's debt. Yeah. That way they can be free to go and like live their hopes and dreams and pursue their happiness and find their true selves. So I think
you unfortunately can't wipe out debt that way anymore.
Not anymore. But in '99, by destroying the main headquarters of all these
in Mr. Robot, didn't they do it just by hacking?
They did it by hacking. Yeah. Oh shit, I guess you're right. I guess they totally could. Totally seen it done.
See?
That's true.
It's a different way in.
It's true.
Anybody any dislikes? Anything you particularly stood out that you thought was not good about it?
I hated when Brad Pitt peed in the and put all the bodily fluid stuff in the food, but that's just because that's like a big fear of mine. But I also found it funny, so I don't know if I hated it. I just strongly dislike that. Waiting was not my favorite movie. Waiting was hard to watch.
Yeah.
So
note is Krystle does not like anybody who's too pee in their food, in her food.
Well, it's funny because then when it came to this scene, he said,
Oh.
"Hey, at good food," like, oh right, then I don't recommend the cream.
That was good. I don't recommend the soup. Clean. Oh, he goes, yeah, clean food.
Clean food.
Well, then can I not recommend the soup?
Right.
Another funny line. Come on. Great line.
Yeah, there's hard to find things that I didn't like about it. Well, yes, of course. God, we don't want roams of gangs going around blowing shit up and destroying property and peeing in food and and all sorts of stuff. But as far as like, I didn't like a character, I didn't like a plot point or anything. It's hard to say that there was something in this film that was like, this sucked because of this.
Yeah, I don't think there was any part of the movie that I was like, this part sucks.
I don't know if there was anything in it that I particularly thought was like out of place or silly or over the top. I mean,
no, I felt like it was all like very meticulously planned out.
It was
every sentence and every scene has a very deep meaning to it. So
right.
I mean, plus the whole film is one giant flashback. It starts with the gun in his mouth, and then
right. Yeah.
And as he introduces new main characters, he does a flashback of how they were introduced the first time you met. So you always had to pay attention, it seems, which I love doing, watching those types of films. So there wasn't really anything that I was just like, oh, that was stupid.
Yeah.
It was one of the few movies we've watched that you didn't pick out anything kind of like out of like,
Brian, going off of what you said, the shoot, I'm forgetting again. I think my brain's fart. I'm sorry.
Noah's losing time. He's schizophrenic.
I guess.
I was just gonna say, in line with Krystle's answer, I physically cringed when the fat ripped open from the bag.
That's my favorite line, actually. I take it back. We're selling these ladies their fat back to them. That is probably the best line in the entire film, actually. That
was the best.
I
forgot. I remember that scene, when it was gonna happen. I was like, oh, I forgot about this. He's gonna get the fat all over.
Yeah.
That was nasty. But also
and he just stands there and he's holding it, trying to catch it in his hand. He's like, all right, I'll get another one.
They used real fat.
Watch it. Come on, who wants to wash with it?
They used real fat.
A little bit.
I'm just kidding. They did not.
It does look nice.
I'd wash with it.
Casey would use it. Casey, you can use that to wash your bruise.
Wash this off, yeah.
I would.
All comes full circle.
The thing I wanted to piggyback off of Brian's flashback comment is when they finally catch back up to where they were at the beginning of the movie, and Brad Pitt's like, "You got any last words?" And Edward Norton says, "I still can't think of anything." Then Brad Pitt has a line where he's like, flashback humor. Which I just thought that was the first time I caught that.
It's weird to think this is almost 25 years old. Does not feel 25 years old.
No, it was way ahead of its time. Still holds up today.
It really is ahead of its time. Because it holds up very well. I think. I mean, some of these movies we rewatch, they don't hold up.
No.
And 99, and not that 99. It's not even this century. It's crazy to think.
Well, we thought all the things. It's funny because it came out in 99, and if you thought back to that time, Noah, Casey, you could check your email right now. Anyway, when you think back to that time, remember it was all Y2K panic. So the thought of bank records, digital records, everything, your computer's not working, communications not working, literally airplanes falling out of the sky was a fear, a legitimate fear in 97, 98, 99. They had a commission, the world had a commission to get everything standardized and get it right. So shit like this, where all your bank records, not only you wouldn't have any debt, but guess what? You wouldn't have any money either because all your bank records would have been wiped.
And you remember what happened in 2000? Nothing.
Dude, I literally had a party.
Nothing. We were all worried about it and nothing would happen.
I literally had a party from 99 to 2000, and a lot of my friends in elementary school, their parents wouldn't let them come because they thought it was the end of the world. like legit.
Right.
And
Right.
we were like, I remember we had like a lot of batteries just in case the power went out. Like, yeah. My parents were like, it's gonna be fine, but
right. So the feeling that you feel in this film now, it's like, yeah, whatever. It's not that high stakes.
it came out
But
in
back in
90s.
'99, it was high stakes.
Yeah. Yeah. I also like, can we talk about the role of the support groups a little bit more? Because I feel like that played like such a big part of this film as well. Like the fact that he was so like corporate culture just broke him down so much that he like literally had such a huge lack of humanity and like couldn't feel stuff, you know? Like I found that wildly interesting this time around.
Especially with his specific job, which is determining like insurance policies and stuff. They have that whole scene where they go and look at the burnt car.
The burnt bodies.
Like,
there were bodies in that car. I don't know if you caught that. They were
and the dude is like, look at this one. This guy must have been huge. Look at the fat burned to the seat. You know, they're cracking jokes. They're like, oh, make a good, you know, PSA advertisement, or braces are wrapped around the back seat. You know, and they're all chuckling and laughing and stuff. And it's you know, if he's doing that every single day in all these different states, he's going to be desensitized.
Right.
And just like the lack of sleep, like gain an hour, lose an hour, gain an hour. Like I felt that so much. Like I just traveled a lot in the last like 3 weeks. And like you just stop caring. You stop caring. I love that. Yes, Brian. Yes. But like, and the fact that he had to like open up to a stranger, or he didn't even really talk, but the fact that he could only cry and feel emotions with that stranger, like, is just such, I don't know. I feel like that's even more relevant in today's world because I feel like we're so disconnected. I feel like you don't have to be like in that job to feel that disconnected to people. Like after COVID, I feel like a lot of us are super, super disconnected. And like, even me personally, like I can open up to a stranger super easy, way easier than opening up to like someone I know. I love Uber drivers. I'm like, you're my therapist. I'm gonna tell you all my deepest, darkest secrets because I'm never gonna see you again.
I would never tell some of my Uber drivers that.
Oh, I definitely do.
Some of them I'd be like, I don't want to tell them anything.
Oh, dude, I talk so much with my Uber drivers. But yeah, I mean, so I just, you know, I think that's kind of crazy, and the fact that like, especially like, I don't know if you guys noticed the part where what's her name? Marla Singer is like, she's stealing the clothes and paying, like, she's then selling the clothes. And while she's doing that, she's dividing, like, she's okay with dividing the groups up. Like, and just, you know, I thought that was really interesting as well. Like she doesn't give a shit about humanity.
I mean, I also love that scene. It made me like, again, like they split up their fake groups, the groups that they're going to pose at. And
that's my favorite.
Robert Paulson.
Bob Boobs.
In death, we have a name. In death, we have a name. I love how like conflicting he is because they're watching this guy like actually be two different people. And when you're watching the movie again, watching their reactions to his insanity, and they just kind of go with it because they think it's a test. They don't know it. It's so fucking great because
I get it.
Yeah, like I get it.
In death, or in death, we have a name. In Project Mayhem, we are nameless. His name was Robert Paulson.
I love this confrontation that he finally calls her out. You know, I love the fact that he calls her out and was like, "Listen, I see what you are. You're a tourist."
Right. And she's like,
and that's a great word for that. You're a tourist.
Right. And the single serving friend on the airplane.
Yeah. Everything is single serve. It was funny as he's going through that story. I'm like, oh fuck, I do a lot of travel like that as well. Yeah, I'm always like, there's always single packets, and I'm always like, oh, I got to order more creamers I got to call down for room service for more creamers.
And I loved the close up of like the single Q-tip wrapped. Like just the one.
Yes.
Yeah, just the one.
By the way, though, it's a fancy hotel when they individually wrap the Q-tip.
Yep.
It does scream fancy.
Yep.
You know what time it is?
Time to rate the movie.
Zenescope
It's a
Sponsored by
Zenescope chart.
Zenescope.
It's Casey's time to shine.
I honestly don't have a chart this time. This is too much. I like completely forgot.
Oh, you're gonna get a bigger ass beating now.
Casey.
We're going rogue. We don't need numbers. We don't need
Zenescope
charts.
chart. Casey.
Yeah,
That's
Christopher
fine.
just got like a really good one.
You
I love
forgot
Carla's
that
line
it's
how she
good.
deserves to be at the testicular cancer group because he still has his balls.
I also like Marla's line where she does get confronted by Edward Norton and she's like, I saw you practicing that. How's it going for you?
Yeah,
As well as you rehearsed.
Yeah, her character was so damn good. Like her character was so good in this film.
And I've always had a huge crush on her as a person, and seeing her in anything, I was just like, oh. And even in this, like she was just so good at just being completely over it and completely over people in general.
Mm-hmm.
So there were 4 people in for that role: Courtney Love, Winona Ryder, but then it came down to Helen Bonham Carter and Reese Witherspoon.
No,
I
could see Courtney Love playing this out of all of those that you named, but I'm glad we got Tim Burton.
Yeah, I can't see Reese Witherspoon, and she was
her name.
That would have been weird.
What's her name? The actress?
Helena Bonham Carter.
Bonham Carter.
But Reese Witherspoon did turn
She's
down.
She's Tim Burton's wife.
That's how
Ex-wife.
Oh,
ex-wife now.
I didn't know they got divorced. Okay, listen.
I'm keeping tabs on it.
Let's see this.
One day.
Casey,
Wait,
I know you're
him.
joking.
I got him.
No, you're joking about the Zenescope chart. We need the Zenescope.
I found them.
Yeah.
All right, Casey.
Zenescope.
Very nice. Oh god. This
Man,
was
Rainbow had a high
breakdown.
score.
I would like to switch with Ralph. I would like to be the pink one. I'm just kidding.
Casey, get
Why
on.
am I Mr. Pink? Rambo. Let's see here.
John Wick, Drive, Rambo first one. I gave Rambo the lowest. Oh damn.
Drive did well. Marilyn did not like it.
Drive is the best film in the world. No, it's not, but it's damn good.
So, are you guys ready for your ratings?
How many personalities are you giving it?
Ooh, that's a good one. Who's up? Let's
I was thinking like soap bars, but
Krystle wants to go first.
It's about multiple personalities.
All right. Okay.
So Krystle's giving it a 3.
5 personalities out of 5.
5 bars of
soap
soap.
bars.
Krystle again with a 5.
Yeah, this is like a classic. I feel like everybody needs to watch this film. For real.
Marilyn, I'm curious what your rating is. I know you liked it the least. I know you liked it the least out of all of them.
I will say, no, I would definitely, even though there are certain things it's like to really get, you have to watch again. I will not watch it again. I would not want to watch it again. And at a certain point in the very beginning, if I didn't have to watch it, I would not have watched it.
Wow. One personality. Where are we going here?
But in saying that though, like in and of itself, I would give it probably a 2. But for me, many a times I may not enjoy a film, but I can enjoy the acting that was done on it. So because of that,
2.25.
no, I wouldn't. I don't go that far. I'm like 2.5 or 3, you know. So I think I'll just give it a 2.5 because I just.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tough critic over here. Hey, you know.
I still love you, Marilyn.
You stay true to yourself.
Marilyn. Says Camperman.
I'll go
You're hurting
next.
the fans' heart, Marilyn. You're hurting the fans.
Poor
Camp. I have to get up and answer a door soon, so I'll go next just in case I have to run back and forth.
Who's that at the door?
Damn, Rob Pete gave it a 1.5. That's low.
What? 1.5.
It's not my top 100.
I'm gonna say this is tough because it's really a good film. It's just not like one of my favorite films. Like if you're gonna list top 20 movies, it wouldn't make it there for some reason. But it's really good. So I'm gonna say 4.5. That's pretty good. It's really good. All right. That's high. Does that sound high? 4.5.
That is what you gave John Wick, if that helps.
That's about right. It's a totally different movie. John Wick's not quite as deep, but it's awesome. 4.5. Final answer. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. Great writing. Great source material from the book. Expertly executed by Fincher and the cast. It's definitely something that when watching you can get sucked into pretty quickly. It's got Helen Bonham Carter, so I'm gonna go yes on that. So I'll say 4.75. It's up there. It's definitely worldwide known. People know it. So, and it's good. I enjoyed this watching only because I really concentrated this time in watching it. Normally I'm watching it and just in a casual way and probably distracted by different things this time.
It was fun watching it with a concentrated effort this time.
Yeah. So there you go.
Noah, Casey, only you two left.
I'm just gonna steal Brian's score because 4.5 sounds really solid to me. I was weighing between a 4 and a 5. Or actually, no, you said 4.75. I'll let you have a 4.75. I'll give it a 4.5.
You can share scores.
All right, fine. I'll share my score. 4.75. Final score. Sold.
Whoa. He just said it's between a 4 and a 5, and he goes 4.75. All right, so 4. Casey,
look at me.
You're gonna go 5?
It's been a 5.
Wow. Okay.
This is probably top. I'm gonna say as far as top 5 movies for me. Yeah, definitely top 10.
Wow.
Tempted to say top 5. This might have been the first R-rated movie I've ever seen. Actually,
You are so adorable. I love that. That's adorable.
Well, you want
Isn't that crazy?
Without a parental guide. Still.
Yeah, I watched it for the first time in high school. My mom's friend walked in on the one sex scene, and she screamed at us.
What is this abstract digital sex?
That went on for like 10 minutes.
She literally said, like, WTF are you watching? We had to turn it off for like 10 minutes and turn it back on. I think it's also inspired probably a lot of the films I like nowadays. I really liked Joker when it came out, and then I watched it again, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it wasn't as hyped up as I did in my mind. But
no, Joker was amazing. Also,
it was really good. But then I also
don't get me into the Joker debate because
next movie club.
I have issues with Joker.
Next movie club.
Is Taxi Driver gone wrong?
Taxi Driver meets King of Comedy.
No,
it's
Anyways.
overrated.
No, and I also, it was funny, I was watching Euphoria, which has a lot of fourth wall breaks, and holy crap, I was like, wait, this scene with where he's explaining like what he does, or he explains what Tyler does for his job. I'm like, Euphoria literally just did that with how to send pictures. I'll leave it at that, in case both of my parents are watching. But yes, it's an easy 5. I have said it's 5.
5 for Kate. Okay. We have to now go to the final part of the show. Unfortunately, Sun couldn't make it today, but this is one of my favorite covers. She's done.
If we were to guess, what do you think she would have given this?
5.
I think she would have been high on this one.
4.5.
Yeah,
I should have asked her. I talked to her.
4.5.
I talked to her the other day for a while, and I didn't even ask her.
Yeah, knowing her, nothing under a 3 for sure, and probably not a solid 5, but at least a 4 to 5. I think she would.
Well, you know what, folks out in the audience, you're gonna have to wait until next month's movie club to find out what she would have if she shows up for that one.
If
So.
she shows
Did
up.
you guys guess what I did to Drive by a chance?
What?
Did anyone guess what I gave to drive?
5.
Oh no, I mean I know I gave it 5. I'm just saying because I wasn't there, so I was just.
I think we add you back.
You
in?
said it last month.
You added it.
Yeah.
You added it. It's the best movie. I actually might even like Drive more than Fight Club. I don't know.
I'd like to point out that I did give Drive a 6, and I noticed that it's still documented as a 5.
Are you guys ready for the cover?
Let's do it.
Do it. Do it.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Right?
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
I like the other one better.
Don't drop that soap.
hey,
Z-rated. Just so in case you don't know, Z-rated comes without the bar.
Okay.
In case you're wondering, here's the link. The link to the cover. I love this cover. I gotta say, I think it turned out great.
Turned out real good.
I'm excited for this cover. Grab yours today. Fight Club. Homage.
Zenescope. Are we going to start doing Zenescope soap?
Oh,
called
we gotta
do
Zenescope
that.
now.
Why wouldn't we do Zenescope?
I actually know a company that does it. I get my Fight Club bars from this company, and they could do whatever you wanted. So
We'll have Robin
there you go.
Cedarwood, Van Helsing.
Zenes soap.
Oh,
Hard to
All
say.
right,
Yeah,
save your in-house meeting for the non.
I have a question though. I do have a question though,
Yeah.
because what immediately popped into my head is as soon as Ed Norton is narrating the film, and I'm like, how many films has he been in that he's narrated? Because it feels like a lot.
That he narrates it.
Yeah, that he narrates a lot of the films that he's in. Am I thinking?
Does feel like that, doesn't it?
My brain is fried. I haven't slept much in the last.
I'm gonna have
2
to think on that. Let's think on that for the next.
everyone's home.
That is true, though. I feel like you're right.
It's Matt
Movie
Damon
Club.
who narrates in Rounders.
Matt Damon narrates in Rounders, right?
Matt Damon.
I don't
He
know.
does
It's
not
just-
like when you say that to him in person.
Interesting. I
What
don't
do we have next month?
Yeah, what's next? What's the next movie?
I think it's Top Gun.
Gun.
The original.
Bum.
The OG Top Gun. Does it hold up?
Iceman.
1986, I think.
That was probably the last time I saw it.
Not Maverick, guys. Not Top Gun Maverick, which I loved.
Me too.
Even though it made no sense, it's a great movie. Brian, what are you shaking your head? You don't
Never
like
saw it. Never saw
it.
it.
Brian,
Never saw
oh my
I
god.
haven't seen it either.
Brian doesn't like Tom Cruise.
Watch it on one of your plane rides.
Really,
It's
Brian's not Tom Cruise.
on a plane.
That's terrifying.
I saw
Brian.
Maverick, but I never saw the original.
Interesting. This is going to be good. Top Gun.
Rad
Can't
said
go
Top Gun 5 all day, every day.
I'm just
Do
looking
we
forward to
have
it.
Do we have a
Fun.
tease of the cover?
Do we?
Oh,
have it?
yeah, I thought. Ralph
Ralph put a
doesn't like when I
ban
do
on
it.
I don't like it. I don't. It's fine. You can-
Ralph decreed
He was
there
angry.
shall be no
He was
tease.
angry that day. He's like, "Don't show nothing." There you go.
Whoa!
Oh, this is going to be good.
I love A. I love A.
That cover is going to be good. It's going to be good. It is good. I actually saw it already. But
Would Zenescope ever do a Magic Eye cover?
Yes.
Magic Eye. I
To
don't
be
know.
honest with you, I would task them to try to even get close to duplicating the back cover of a Mad magazine, where you had to
It's a
fold it.
sailboat.
Yeah, immediately 9.8, 6.4 CGC scale.
I love him all rats when he like does not see it. That's the best.
Mhm.
It's a schooner, dumbhead.
Have you seen a cosplay of that? That is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
They
fine.
came in with their own magic eye on an easel.
I
and
gotta
he dressed-
rewatch Mallrats. I haven't seen that movie in about 20 years.
I wanted to marry Jason Lee for like 2 decades because of that movie.
Not shocking, Krystle.
Mallrats is what got me into all the Kevin Smith films. That was my
That's what got
first
him
one.
started, people,
Yeah.
because nobody saw Clerks.
I saw Clerks.
Theaters when it came out in '94.
No, I saw it on VHS, but I did see it. before.
Ryan.
Listen, my mom actually got it, rented it for me, and she's like, "There's this
Oh,
movie,
right
it's an
on.
independent film. and it's because she knew I was interested in movie making and stuff, and she's like, this is supposed to be really good. I'm like, what is this? Clerks? It's in black and white. I don't want to watch this.
You know what's crazy?
And then I brought
always
it to my
forget that
friend's
Clerks is in
house
black
that
and white.
night, and we rewatched it. I was like, this is the funniest movie. You got to watch it. So,
Yeah. I literally like always forget it's black and white. Like your brain just fills in the rest. It's so weird.
It's in black and white, Krystle.
I know.
All right, listen. That's all I have to say. I'm gonna go.
Real quick. Y'all are going to Twin City Con in November.
Yes.
Is that owned by Nerd Out Con or is that different people?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, this one next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, me, Marilyn, Scott Sheffo, Jeff Anderson, the Oaks, the Greater Philadelphia Exposition Center, which is in Oaks, outside of the city of Philly. We'll be there from the 5th through the 7th. Get your tickets on ContropolisPA.com. They're going to do 3 shows. They're going to do Contropolis, Massachusetts, and Contropolis, New Jersey. But check out who's on the list. It's going to be fun. That's me and Marilyn, Scott Schiaffo, Jeff Anderson, May 5th through the 7th.
Nice.
Sweet.
So wait, is the Twin Cities one, the Twin Cities, is that by Nerd Out Con or is that different?
I don't know who the promoter is. I think it's the same people who do
Nerd Out Con?
No, I don't think it's Nerd Out. I think it's someone else who used to own Awesome Con. The guy's name's Ben. He's the one who runs Twin City.
Okay. I know I'm doing one in Minnesota around that time, so I wasn't sure if it was that one or a different one.
Yes, Twin City is, I think, the one you're doing, right?
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I have to go, guys, myself. But you guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
It was fun.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next month for Top Gun. I know, Buffy.
I'll have more energy then. Bye.
Bye.